When it comes to reducing tailpipe emissions and lowering running costs, the buzzword seems to be electric. And although electric vehicles might be the future of mobility, there is another alternative that is currently available that can help do the same. I am of course referring to CNG vehicles. And although in recent times CNG has been associated with the commercial vehicle segment, there are some options available for private car buyers as well. But the catch is that in case of these options, most of them are available either in their lower spec or mid-spec trims, so you have to compromise on certain convenience features.
Tata has decided to address this issue with the launch of the Tigor iCNG, which is also being offered in its new top-end XZ Plus trim.
But before we tell you more about those features, tell you how the car is to drive, and what the CNG variant brings to the table and what it takes away from it, do remember to subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon so that you get notified every time new content goes up on Auto Today. Along with the launch of the Tigor CNG, Tata has also added a new XZ Plus trim to the Tigor's lineup. What that brings to the table is the new color that you see on your screens, slightly redesigned grille up front, and some added features like automatic headlamps and rain sensing wipers. Of course, that adds to the value proposition of the Tigor, and the fact that this XZ Plus trim is available with the CNG fuel option is what I was talking about initially when I said you don't have to compromise in case you opt for the CNG variant.
The Tigor comes with LED DRLs, projector headlamps, LED tail lamps, and buyers get dual tone color options as well for Rs 12,000 extra. Visually, the only difference between the petrol Tigor and this CNG variant is the badge on the boot lid and 14-inch steel rims with wheel covers instead of 15-inch alloys, even in this top-end XZ Plus trim.
Inside the cabin, there are no changes as such. It's the same as the petrol variant. They have tweaked the seat upholstery a bit, but other than that, it's the same cabin we're all too familiar with. And you get a healthy list of features. Like I mentioned, that you don't have to compromise on convenience features, so you get a healthy list of features including a 7-inch touchscreen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto support, automatic climate control, electrically adjustable ORVMs and electrically foldable as well, a driver's seat with height adjust, and of course fore and aft movement and recline, and a fully digital instrument panel. Now this instrument panel, again, almost the same as the petrol variant, except there are two fuel indicators, one for CNG, one for petrol, and there is a small light in the instrument panel, notification lamp, which lights up when the car is in CNG mode. If you turn it off with this switch in the center console, then the light goes away and you switch to petrol mode. In terms of space within the cabin, nothing has changed. You get the same amount of space in the front, in the back, plenty of leg room, plenty of headroom, pretty comfortable seats as well. What has changed, however, is the boot space. Instead of 419 liters in the petrol variant's case, now the boot with the 60-liter CNG tank inside is reduced to about 205 liters. You can still get in small bags and very small pieces of luggage in there, but not more than that. Although, if you compare it with the Tiago CNG, then the Tigor makes slightly more sense because you still get some usable boot space. Specific to the CNG variant, there are certain added safety features aside from the usual safety net of ABS, dual front airbags, rear parking sensors. If the engine is running and you pop the fuel filler cap, where the CNG filling nozzle is also located, the engine cuts out automatically. Plus, the CNG kit in this car is compliant with all Indian safety regulations as well as European regulations. And as we all know, the Tigor is the safest compact sedan in its segment with a 4-star global NCAP safety rating. So on the safety front, we are very sorted. The engine is the same 1.2-liter unit that comes in the petrol variant, although power output at about 73.4 bhp is lower by 12 bhp compared to the petrol variant, and torque output is also down by 18 Nm at 95 Newton meters of peak torque. This engine comes mated to a 5-speed manual transmission only. There is no AMT on offer yet, but there might be in the future, but no confirmation on that front yet. But for now, the CNG variant is only available with the 5-speed manual transmission. The engine's performance, of course, outright acceleration will take a hit because of the lower power and torque outputs, but again, in regular use within the city, on regular roads, within legal speed limits, you will hardly notice a difference, if you notice a difference at all. The performance is decent enough, no complaints on that front. And with the addition of the CNG, there is no change to the NVH levels or anything of that sort. It's still not the quietest car to be inside, but it's fairly refined, and again, for this segment in particular, you won't really have any reason to complain about the Tata Tigor CNG. With the addition of the CNG kit, weight has gone up by about 100 kgs. To counter that, changes have been made to the suspension, and the ground clearance has also reduced by about 5 mm. Again, in the real world, it hardly makes a difference in terms of driving dynamics, in terms of performance over different sorts of roads, at high speed, at lower speeds. There is no discernible difference between the petrol and the CNG variant of the Tigor. As such, I've always liked the way the Tigor handles, the way it rides. It feels stable enough at higher speeds, it's comfortable enough at lower speeds, it's dynamically also pretty okay for a compact sedan in this space, not too soft, not too harsh either. And I think it strikes a decent balance between keeping occupants comfortable as well as keeping the driver slightly happy with the dynamic capability. The Tigor CNG comes with a 60-litre CNG tank, plus there is the 35-litre petrol tank as well. Tata is claiming a fuel efficiency of a little over 26 kilometers per kg, and realistically speaking, you will get in about 9 to 10 kgs of CNG in that tank. So in the real world, assuming a slightly conservative figure, you will get about 200 kilometers from one tank, and that combined with the 35-litre petrol tank, which should be good for easily 400 to 450 kilometers, you get a very healthy combined range of over 600 kilometers, and that is a pretty good deal in my books. Of course, you do compromise on boot space, but on the upside you get better range and obviously lower running costs because you have the CNG tank in the car.
Over the last few months, the average price of CNG in Delhi has been around 50 rupees per kg, which means a full tank will cost around 500 rupees. Assuming you manage to extract around 200 kilometers from a full tank, it translates to around less than 3 rupees per kilometer of running cost. To run the same distance, the petrol variant is likely to cost around 7 rupees per kilometer. Following some mild number crunching, we figured that if an owner averages 1,000 kilometers a month, then they'd take around 2 years to recover the extra 95,000 rupees they'd pay to get the CNG variant over the regular petrol one. The only other offering in this segment available with a CNG option is the Hyundai Aura, which is available only in a single mid-spec grade. Again, the compromise we mentioned at the start of the video. With respect to range and efficiency, there are diesel options from Hyundai and Honda, but their top-end trims are considerably more expensive. All things considered, the Tata Tigor iCNG makes a lot of sense for those looking for an affordable, spacious, within the cabin at least, not the boot particularly, and comfortable option that's easier on the pocket and doesn't make you compromise in terms of features.